like anybody else, I like a good laugh, and I don't even mind a little bit of dirty humor. And this is a little bit in between, because it is a serious subject, so it's not too light, but it was very funny. So, essentially, recently, Scarlett Johansson, during an interview about Black Widow with some of her co-stars and people who were behind the scenes in front of the camera too, basically did a very short but very strong praise of Joss Whedon, and it kind of shocked some people even during the interview. So we're gonna essentially hear Film Junkie's reaction to both her comments and sort of speculate about what does this all mean exactly.
Here you go.
For the studio, and the first film that I worked on, collaborated with Kevin on, was directed by Jon Favreau. I mean, you talk about somebody who can improvise on the spot and makes everything better in the moment. And Joss Whedon, an incredible screenwriter, joke writer, and storyteller.
Ugh.
And the Russos as well are two very fresh, hilarious.
Oh, is that an ad coming in? Sorry. Guess ad's coming in. Oh, come on. There you go.
One is a performer, and both of them.
All right. Look at Florence Pugh's face right there. I know I paused it at a moment, but
fresh,
I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know. You kind of just look at everybody's face. I mean, right before she said that, I mean, obviously you had smiles going on. Florence was kind of smiling, and then all of a sudden,
and Joss Whedon,
incredible. Look at her face drop.
Is that Hollywood?
His take is very hilarious. I really laughed. I thought that little part from Friends was very, very funny. And he does make a good point that she didn't really have to go that far. And given that her own history is a little checkered, I'm surprised he didn't go more into Harvey Weinstein. That to me is kind of the telling thing, is that people keep bringing up Alan, they keep up Woody, and they keep bringing up Joss, but they forget about Harvey. And I think she's definitely trying to rewrite her history on Harvey. But in terms of the substance, well, this is the dilemma, right? So let's put our cards on the table. Joss Whedon is talented. He's very talented. He's much more talented than the Russos. He's much more talented than Favreau. But is he a good person? I think we can say at the least he's very, very mixed. Now, I don't think he's super Hitler evil or even Harvey. Those are genuine strong cases of evil. But if you had to rank them, I think he'd kind of come in the middle. And probably somebody like Zack Snyder's on the very, very low end. Because you got to be honest, just work in the Hollywood system, you got to make some compromises. So I'm sure Zack has done some compromising things, but probably he's done the least amount because everyone gets along with him. He's very friendly. No one has anything bad to say about him. He's just the nicest guy. He's very respectful. Nothing close to what we're getting with Joss. Just tons of anecdotes of people not liking him, having trouble with him, clashing with him, and him doing very questionable things. But that does not in any sense affect his talent. So we're just kind of stuck here that you're dealing with talented people, but oftentimes they're very evil. And I love Scarjo, but I think you have to be honest. Did she kind of know what was happening behind the scenes? Probably. She just didn't care. With Harvey or a ton of other cases, she just didn't care. She cared about her career. And now she's very big and she's very talented. And she can do a lot of things that she could not do previously. So I just consider this kind of her flexing her muscle and just giving her actual opinion that, yeah, she really liked working with Joss. I mean, the whole thing is she's praising everybody. She's praising the Russos. She's praising Favreau. I don't think she's singling out Joss. It's yeah, I just liked my time at Marvel. I like working with these creators. She's just generally praising everybody. And I'm going to follow Film Junkie too, that I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. I mean, what was she really meaning? What did she really say? It is telling, though, as he makes fun of, that Florence definitely changed her expression. She went from happy to sad very quickly and very noticeably. The other people were kind of a little bit more mixed. At least a couple of the women were disturbed, clearly, by what she said. But Rachel seemed kind of indifferent. She didn't seem to care. David didn't seem to care. And Kevin just, he didn't really register anything. He was okay, yeah. Which probably tells me that she said similar things in private. And he's yeah, I get it. Yeah, he's talented. No plans to get him back in the MCU, but, yeah, he's talented. Yeah. I'm not going to deny that. Is this a nothing controversy? No, I think it's significant. I guess the question would be, now that she's trying to rework herself as a feminist icon, how she herself makes this cohere. Maybe she doesn't believe the stories of Ray Fisher. and or Charisma Carpenter. Like, I believe what they're saying, but I don't think we want to believe everything they're saying. I think we can just draw the line saying, okay, I think you guys have a basic argument and that should be definitely dealt with seriously, but do I believe every single rumor about Joss being the most horrific Hitler devil? No, I don't think so. Now people have clearly gotten out of hand and they're just accusing him of the most ridiculous things, and it seems like on the one hand Scarjo's being more moderate, but I don't think we can hide. This is also kind of positioning herself like, if she is going to work with Joss down the line, I mean, people are going to be like, well, Scarjo. It's like, well, he's a talented person. I have no issue with him, and that's me. Interestingly enough, the way Film Junkie brings this up, like, she's already been getting a lot of backlash. I'm sure from her point of view, for no reason, saying, well, I just want to play different roles in different parts. Now, with the trans thing, I would defend her absolutely. Ghost in the Shell, I think, is a little bit more difficult to justify. But I actually am with her that saying if a performer wants to do a certain role, well, why should she be restricted? I can sense there's a bit of both. There's a bit of self-interest kind of positioning here. I bet maybe these are just her honest thoughts. But it's definitely hilarious how her, quote, friends and co-stars are dealing with this and being like, okay, privately we probably don't disagree with you, but publicly, like, I would take that this is what it is. She's just flexing her muscle a little bit and letting people know, like, I'm going to say what I want to say, and, you can't do anything about it. Did this play a role in Black Widow tanking or performing very poorly? I doubt it. But it probably didn't help, because I'm sure some people were like, I like Scarjo. I like her so much. And then people brought up, like, she likes Joss Whedon, right? It's like, what? What do you mean? He directed the first Avengers. They're friends. So it probably had a little bit of a role, but I doubt a big role. But yeah, it's very interesting in terms of where Joss will eventually end up. Because we have to be honest, he's going to be back in Hollywood. But again, how are people going to deal with him? How are people going to address these controversies? It's definitely going to be an ongoing thing. But apparently he has an ally in Scarjo, and at least she's letting us know where she stands there. So that's interesting. But a very funny little thing. I'm sure she didn't intend for it to be a source of laughter, but it is really funny to see how they reacted and be like, what? It's very amusing that she definitely said something that they did not plan out, and they're like, what? What are we supposed to do now? I don't know. Talk to Scarjo. She's in charge now, I guess. At least for now, but we'll see what happens down the road.